All right, the assignment was either fall colors or landscape. Ooh, I like that. Cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just walking the trails at Hidden Lake Gardens, this was last year, cause obviously nothing much has fallen this year.
Yeah.
The thing I always try to look for, this time of year is try to find an individual leaf that's backlit. I mean,
No, that's hard to
Other
do.
leaf underneath
I haven't-
it.
yeah, I mean, it adds, basically what happened is that bottom leaf is kicking light onto the,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Is it like a deflector?
yeah, a reflector, yeah,
Reflector,
yeah. I cropped out a little bit of the top of the photo, cause, it wasn't adding anything, so. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, that's fall,
That's like-
not here, but yeah.
Actually, that was in September last year in the Badlands.
Uh-huh, I was gonna say, yeah.
I recognize that.
Yep. So did I.
Got off the bus for a couple minutes and we took pictures and that was
Yeah.
a blast.
The clouds are only.
Yeah, the clouds definitely add to the photo.
And it's amazing, I'll say this, it's amazing to watch all that stuff change as the lighting changes.
Oh,
too.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Is there a filter or something you could put on it to kind of get an idea, being that I could only see it for the few minutes we were there, because I was on a tour?
What sort of filter are you thinking of?
Any kind of filter, or just a different color mindset, or there's all these presets these guys sell, and,
I mean, the only thing I could think of that would have changed that, maybe, strong maybe, is if you'd had a graduated neutral density filter to tone the sky a little bit, maybe, but I don't think there's much you could have filtered with that. I would say maybe, one possibility would be if you were shooting, and here's where you'd have to be careful with your white balance, because it does look, to me, with my uncalibrated Mark I eyeball, it looks just a touch blue. So what I would have been tempted to do if I was going to play around with filters, I would set the white balance to sunlight, and then I'd slap a warming filter on the front of the lens. I'd give it a little bit of warmth, just a hint of orange to make it look a bit
Yeah,
warmer.
but say, depending on the time of the day and
Oh,
lighting.
oh, yeah,
you
sure.
get a
that's the
lot of
trouble when you
different-
take a tour.
Yeah,
Every time we settle at a good place, it was like 11 to 2, 3 o'clock.
Yep.
It's like, oh.
yep, Murphy's Law, yep.
Does that look true to your memory of the scene?
The sky's a little blue, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks saturated. Is
I would-
it
It
yeah,
does
that's
look
what I thought.
saturated,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
It's a
it's
little
saturated a
saturated.
little.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
could desaturate it just a tiny bit.
Yeah, I would say desaturating the sky might help. And also, the top ridge there, right up against the sky,
Yeah.
looks to me, it looks just a touch washed out. That could be me. I think it might look a little bit better if it was just, like maybe a quarter stop, third of a stop darker.
Oh, I don't know.
Because I'm looking at, the quotes unquotes peak on the right-hand third line. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of detail on the side that's facing to the left. And maybe just a hint darker, but yeah, other than that, I think it's a good shot.
What I liked about it was, I liked the road in there.
Mm-hmm, the road leads you in. All you need is a red vehicle at the curve.
Is it the Badlands? Is that-
That's Badlands, yeah.
South Dakota.
That's what I thought.
Classic Badlands.
Yeah.
Is that sand or salt or?
That's actually clay.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And I forget what the erosion is. It's so
Is that
many
like
inches
solid rock?
here that it's
So like-
eroded.
It's rock, but it's,
Yeah, basically
It's
the
a
way
soft.
the way the Badlands formed is you got layers of clay on top of layers of coal, and what happened is as the soil eroded, the coal got exposed, and then you'd get a fire go through there, sparked by one lightning strike hitting the coal, and the coal would burn and it would fire the clay into rock.
yeah. Now, if you're interested in paleontology and stuff, there's also dinosaur bones.
Oh yes.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they didn't tell us that.
Yep. Makoshika State Park in southeastern Montana.
They were trying to get you back on the bus.
No, I remembered that there was a good erosion factor to that, but I can't remember what it was.
Yep.
And I was thinking, like, my grandkids
Did
probably
you make
wouldn't
a
see
stop
these
at
little
Walled
mounds.
Rug?
You have to, isn't it a law?
Pretty much.
That's
Ah,
pretty.
Here we are.
That's worthy of a picture hanging somewhere. Who did that?
Me,
Oh, okay.
that
Where
is
we go, that would
actually
be a
from
nice
my
one to
cell
hang.
phone.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's
Is that the Gorman phone?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
that's
say,
the
yeah.
lower fall.
It
Yeah.
looks like there's some mist coming off the water.
There is.
That's
Yeah.
There
cool.
is.
There
There
it is.
usually is.
So, my cell phone shoots raw,
It does.
so
Wow.
that was raw, but it was only, it comes out at 72 DPI, so.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that's the trouble I have.
Yeah.
But I changed it to 300 and it was fine.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I mean, being a bit of a nitpick, I know I'm horrible, I'm a bad person. I would almost crop out all the water on the bottom. Because, you know, your subject is the waterfall and the fall color behind it. What's in front isn't really adding to that. This way, you crop that out, now you're adding more emphasis on the waterfall and the fall color, and I would have been tempted to saturate that fall color just a smidgen more, but that's just me. Again, I have an uncalibrated Mark I eyeball, so take that with a grain of salt.
Is that now, this year?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
that
can
was,
bounce this
that was
sky a
just
little bit.
last week. Actually, not even a whole week ago.
Yeah, the other problem I have with that water in the foreground is it is like one of the brightest spots in the whole photo. So your eye goes there, it locks in there, and it has a kind of hard time getting to the rest of it.
I'm locked in on the foliage.
Okay.
Yeah,
I did say my eyeball was uncalibrated.
I used a graduated filter to darken the bottom on one of my.
Yep. Interesting. And where was this?
Hanley bird section.
Aha! I was wondering if that was at Hanley.
That's last year.
Yep. Nice. Definite classic fall on the prairie. Yep. With trees behind.
It kind of shows that we have open spaces like this.
Yep.
I like that idea.
Yep. And you got that sense of depth because you got these the vegetation in the front, you got the trees in the back, you got the horizon.
It's got a good sense of depth, I thought.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Oh, that's a nice panorama.
I like that. I love the golden.
Good.
Those old barns are getting
idea.
fewer and farther
Okay,
between
I'm gonna
too.
shut up.
Yeah, the yellow and red are really nice.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I like panoramas, so I like this.
Roy doesn't wanna say it, but he thinks the barn should have been cut out.
No, actually, now that you provoked me, I would have liked to have seen more of the building on the right.
Yeah, well, yeah, for a really good panorama, yes.
Other than that, it's gorgeous and I like it. And, you know, I would either cut that building on the right totally out
Right.
or included all of it, either way.
Now, that makes sense, yeah, yeah. Did you guys print like panoramas? Is
We
there-
can. In fact, every once in a while, we'll have somebody, you know, back during World War I, they would do a group photo of all the soldiers and it always ends up being a roll like about this long and this
Yeah.
tall, and yeah, we copy it and print them. Yep, no problem.
I like that tree on the left. there.
Yes, yeah, that's a visual frame, it's effective.
Who says that? Mine. Oh, okay. No, I think it's kind of cool. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it just kind of, it like kind of fades because it's so like the red and the gold, you know.
Mhm,
yellow,
the
everything.
the
and
color-
then it kind of fades into like you know, to the other building. It's kind of like ooh, you know, drab and kind of gray.
The other thing I'd like to point out about this is the fact that it's not a bright sunny day works with the image because it
Yes.
makes the reds and the yellows pop more.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's mine. I like fall
Really
colors.
unique tree trunk.
Yeah, it is.
She looks like a cat.
Cool as your hand. It
I
does
love
kind of
that
look like a
tree.
hand or a claw.
Where's that at? Where were we? We were,
Was it the same place?
huh?
The Henley Bird Sanctuary?
That's an
We were
interesting.
somewhere I didn't know where we were.
Uh-huh.
Forget it.
Mystery spot.
Was it the day you got the bluebird pictures?
I can't remember.
Did you post-process that at all, Tal?
Just a little bit. Not
'Cause,
much though.
you know, I'm thinking that, like, the bright areas, the tree trunk and the leaves are a little bit overexposed. And again, this is one of those situations where having a bright sunny day works against you. I mean, I'd say you did the best you could with the light you had.
Yeah.
I would have been, me being me, I mean, yeah, the tree trunk is definitely a keeper idea. Did you shoot any verticals of it?
Mm-mm.
I would have been tempted to try shooting a vertical of just the three tree trunks with maybe just a hint of leaves on either side.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, the moral of the story is, you know, always shoot in both directions, cause, you know, that way you got both to pick from. And the other thing I might have been tempted, a situation like this, where you got definitely a harsh, bright blue sky midday, instead of trying to photograph the whole tree, which, you know, it's a good starting point, you know, I would be tempted to go in underneath the leaves and try to get a sun star poking through a hole in one of the leaves, or where a couple leaves are overlapping. And hopefully we'll get that opportunity when we go down to Hidden Lake Gardens in a
I,
weekend.
years and years ago, early this century, I was on a photo walk downtown with Roy, and Roy, I was taking some pictures, and I was really new to photography, and Roy said, well, do some verticals, and I had never really thought about doing many verticals before that, so I do some more verticals now and then.
I remember several years ago reading, there was a guy professional photographer, and, you know, when he was out traveling on location, he'd check in with his wife, you know, this is pre-cell phone days, and at the end of every conversation, his wife would say, shoot more verticals!
I actually really like the composition of that one.
Looks like an impressionist painting.
Mhm.
So yeah, vertical would make it a totally different looking picture.
Ooh.
That's
Oh my
freaky.
Wow,
gosh.
that's a storm.
Mm.
Down by Toledo.
Was it a bad storm?
I think I did a sky replacement on that.
Ah.
I was gonna ask you about that.
I've been playing around with that lately, so that's probably what I did.
Yeah, because a lot of times you go out and
It
you're only
works
gonna
out.
be at this location,
Beautiful colors.
and it's either all cloudy and drab or gray skies,
Right?
or nothing, so. But it kinda,
It's hard to find those deep red trees.
Yeah.
I can see kinda like fog rolling in on that though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I like about it.
I've tried to shoot just some skies, just to have like a library of skies from around my house.
Yep,
Hmm.
definitely,
I
yeah,
gotta
I've done that.
remember doing
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can buy skies, and I'm like, why buy a sky when I shoot
Yep.
pictures?
that. Yeah.
Exactly.
I like that house in there tucked away.
Yep. Adds a sense of scale and depth.
Exactly.
I think that's the end of the
Yeah,
assigned.
the end of the
Next, nature or
Yep, nature.
nature.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Watkins Lake.
That's beautiful.
Watkins Lake?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
I don't think I've
my
seen a
gosh.
bald eagle there more than once, and you got that? Nice.
I've been stalking them for 3 years.
Wow.
It was worth it. Now, if you do a hang somewhere, that picture's gotta be one of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sunlight and everything is amazing.
I got them swooping down and grabbing a fish and everything.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
Just being prepared at the right time, you know?
Yep.
Okay, wow.
aw.
Cute.
I hate to say this, the photo does not do that bird justice. That's what it's called, a prothonotary warbler. And let me tell you, those little rascals, they are an iridescent, incandescent neon yellow. They practically glow in the dark.
Huh.
I remember one time I was walking along, this was at McGee Marsh in Ohio, I was walking along, I asked, hey, where's the prothonotary? He says, down there, about 30 yards. And I looked down with my bare eyes, and it's, forested swamp. And in the darkness, under the forest canopy, I could see this glowing yellow dot. I'm like, oh yeah, I see him.
Wow.
Now, my only kick on it is that right corner that's fogged or whatever it is.
Branch,
It's
Yeah,
like,
branch between me and him.
branch or weed or something, yeah.
Ooh, that's an interesting take
I
on the
went
water
down
lily.
the dock that no one, where we are, our condos are, no one uses, and one day, and I just stood there and like, gotta find a bug on one of these flowers.
And you found a whole bunch of bugs by the looks of
Yeah,
it.
a lot of dead ones.
That, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a water lily photograph like that.
Mhm.
So and I like how it stands out against the black water. That just makes it totally pop.
Yeah.
And the exposure is good because I'm still seeing detail in some of the upper petals. Nice job. Well done.
I did have to there was something blurry on the right that.
Cropping is always acceptable.
Well, I just photoshopped it out.
Okay.
That's very
Fill
Well,
this with.
nice. Well, then like the green
Generative
gives a
fill.
diagonal there too.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Nice. One of those scenes you just wanna go see.
Yep.
I got a
Why
whole
didn't I know
bunch
about
of
these things when I was
pictures.
younger, you know?
Uh-huh.
Water, more blue than normal.
Yeah, usually that looks like root beer.
Yeah.
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 It's framed nicely with that green and the tree.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Canada geese flying away. I'm trying to decide whether I like or dislike the foreground jumble. I mean, it does frame the goose, I will say that.
I did
And without it, I think it'd kind of be a boring picture.
Mm-hmm. I like the way the branches are framing it, that's great.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also they're framing the sun too, so.
Yeah,
It
Yeah,
kinda
that's
shows you
true.
what you go through to get a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh,
Oh, nice.
gee.
Very, very, very
Is
nice.
that another bug on his beak too?
Yep, they had the catch light in the eye.
2 for
Yes.
1.
Everything.
Actually, 3 for 1. You got the catch light in the eye and 2 bugs. Yeah.
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 Flowers in the background.
I'm sorry?
I like the yellow in the background too.
It's like
Mm-hmm.
tulips.
Yeah, out of focus flowers. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
beautiful.
dash of color. That's very nice.
That's from spring, so those are probably dandelions.
Oh.
That's all right. No complaints here. It works. Very nice.
Aw.
Oh.
That's mine.
Little wassail.
I've never seen a blonde squirrel before.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we
They're
have one in
around.
our area for the
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
couple years.
I've seen one in my neighborhood for a
Yeah,
while.
actually, gray squirrels will have 3 color phases, one gray, one black, and one like that.
Yeah.
One squirrel?
One variety
Species.
of
Oh,
squirrel.
in the species, yeah. I've seen one black one near us, about a mile from our house one day, but I don't see many black ones.
No,
They're
they're-
around.
Oh my
There's
gosh,
a
I
bunch
see them
in your
all the
south.
time.
A good place to find black ones is Kensington Metro Park near
Mm.
Brighton. They used to have a whole bunch of
Or
them.
Battle Creek.
That's
Yeah.
a horrible
There's a ton
photo.
there.
I was driving down the street and saw the squirrel. I just stopped in the middle of the street and put my flashers on and shot through the windshield.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
you take what you can get.
Yeah.
they're hard because they move around so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like one of the shots you wanna prove that you saw that squirrel.
Yeah.
You don't see many, really.
As
I do
my
this all
mother
the
would
time.
say, it's a for worse until you get better shot.
That, yeah.
Well, like.
Still, it's a good pose of the squirrel.
Yeah.
I'd be tempted to Photoshop out the tree trunk in the back.
It
that.
kind of like makes his light
It makes
color
it stand out though.
Be too close to the grass color.
I guess that's the end of it.
Maybe lighten it a little bit.
I'd go darker myself on the squirrel. I think it's, well, hard to
Oh, I
say.
mean the tree trunk.
Ah, maybe, yeah. Yeah.
That's neat.
He's so cute.
I think I'd just crop it a little tighter.
Yeah, I agree.
It is vertical.
Yep. Yep.
If by the time you even moved your camera, the squirrel's long gone.
Yeah, I mean.
Or you've been smacked by another car.
Yeah, I mean, the general guideline I've heard is if your subject is vertical, shoot it as a vertical. If your subject is horizontal, shoot it as a horizontal. But then again, you know, you're in a hurry, you're in the middle of traffic, you know, this is the one grab shot you've got, it's good.
Yep, and like I say, you can recrop it as a vertical.
Yeah, very easily.
So,
Photo shootout.
How cool is that?
That's what we should do. We need to have a photo shootout picture. It's, you know, we all take turns, take a picture of everyone. You ever see those? They have these little movies where people are taking pictures and they're hiding and jumping up and down.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen one of those in a couple of years.
Yeah,
We just do just a. That is cool.
yeah,
It's creative.
yes.
Her outfit goes so good with that car.
Yeah, the girl on the right, yeah,
and
it's
Oh
perfect.
yeah, yeah.
It's a perfect match. I mean, I might have been tempted to crop out, you know, the building and the top, so you're more
Yeah.
focused on the
Yeah.
vehicle and the people, but other than that, it's good.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's fun.
If I'm documenting something though,
Ooh.
sometimes
Oh,
it
oh,
is.
oh, oh,
Ooh.
Watkins Lake again after the big ice snow we had.
oh. Nice,
Oh, wow, I love that. That's nice.
nice.
I can-
So, how, other than converting it to black and white, what sort of post-processing did you do?
A little bit on the highlights, that's it.
Wow.
What would be a
Not
good
very
way to
much.
print that? On
I would, if it, you know, if it's going in a frame, I'd go with a matte finish. If it's going on like a gallery mount, I'd definitely throw that on metallic.
That's
Oh,
what I was
yeah.
gonna say.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Pretty good with that.
Or aluminum, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, glossy aluminum, oh, boy, that would pop. Nice.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Mm.
That's mine.
I like
I've never
that.
shot in the dark before,
Oh,
Ah,
and it took me a minute to figure out how to
Cool with that.
get it without it being blurry.
Looks like it's catching all the dew
So
on the
I take pictures of weeds, I don't care.
it's not a weed, it's a plant that God planted in that location. Give it a break.
It's a pretty flower. It reminds me of a daisy.
it's a wildflower.
Yeah.
And I love daisies.
And again, this would be one where I'd be tempted to crop vertical, cause you got a lot of, you know, fence along the right-hand side. that-
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, crop it
Oh,
vertical
yeah.
and it's nice.
it would narrow into the subject.
Yep.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because the right and the left doesn't do that much. It does give the depth, but then it takes away a little bit of the main subject, which is so pretty.
And you could even crop off some of the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And the
But if you did it vertical,
Yep.
I wouldn't.
I'd keep the bottom, I think.
I keep the bottom
Yeah.
and lose that dark top.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It was just an experiment.
Oh, no, do some more. It's fun.
Yeah.
I like,
Yep.
things like that.
Whoa.
That's cool. Now, what is?
I want to thank Laura for setting up the Astro photo shoot. And so the story behind this, Laura, you know, organized a photo shoot for us up between Eaton Rapids and Charlotte. And everybody had been photographing this one snag, which was pretty cool against, you know, the Milky Way. And then a car went past us and stopped, and when it hit its brakes, you know, it lit up the tree with a red light, and I got to thinking, wait a minute, this headlamp that I have, it has color filters on it. So I'm like, okay, I want to get the Milky Way frame between these two trees, and I'm like, I want to light up the trees, and so I first lit it up with the white light, and I'm like, no, that looks horrible. So I switched to the green filter, and then I upped my exposure to like 10 seconds at f4 and briefly flashed my headlamp on the grass and the trees.
Really, I don't like
Nice.
the color.
Huh.
So what's in the middle?
I think that is a plane going across. Because like I said, that was like a 10-second exposure.
Because I'm wondering, because it looks like the Starlink.
It's a UFO.
You know, those
Yeah,
that's what I was
those
thinking.
satellites?
A bunch of
Yeah.
UFOs.
That's what it
But I
looks
don't
like.
know, is that red or
In
just
formation.
white?
I think it's white, but I
Well, I think it's alternating red and white.
Well, that's why I'm saying that's probably.
And it's an airplane,
Yeah.
undoubtedly.
And if you look,
One on the left.
right, yeah, if you look left, right,
Yeah,
here, you
Yeah.
can see another one.
right, yeah, I do,
Yeah.
yeah.
Remind me sometime, I need to go out and scout Watkins Lake and see if that might be suitable for some astrophotography. Another place I'm thinking of is north of Grass Lake on Reef Miller Road. I gotta do some astro
It's
scouting.
nice
What
how
is
the
that?
Milky Way in the tree. Like,
That spot in the Cascades where they used to have like horses and the far camp to walk to, and it's kind of surrounded by trees. It's not near, it's kind of way in the back
In
at the
Cascades?
Cascades.
You talking
Oh,
about where
spot.
they used to have the Civil War encampment?
Yeah, with the far one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is that to be able to see the Milky Way like that, you've gotta get out of the city. These Cascades will be too far. I mean, I live, like 2 miles south of the city, and there's an app that you can get. It's called PhotoPills. And you stand in one spot, and it'll tell you what time the Milky Way is going to come up and in what direction.
Mm.
And yeah, I'm looking at PhotoPills, and it says, yeah, Milky Way should be showing up right about now. And I'm like, I ain't seeing it.
Okay, photo what?
Pills.
With like a pill.
PHOTOPILLS. It's great. It'll let you plan sunrise, sunset,
Oh.
stars. Yeah,
I've heard
it's
those
like
apps, yeah.
$11 to buy the app.
It's well worth it.
Yep.
Well, it's a cool shot. Let's go.
Boom.
Halloween's coming.
That is definitely a Halloweeny picture. Yeah.
I love
That's
it.
funny.
Did anyone bring a licorice with them?
That is
I
cool.
like that, that's funny.
How'd you? I assume you put some sort of light down in the bucket.
No, software.
Ah. Okay.
I really messed myself up with that. I bought the parts and I thought, oh, this is exactly what I wanna do. But do you know how hard it is to do licorice and bones in the same?
Oh, really?
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Oh, black and
Oh,
white,
getting the
yeah,
exposure
yeah.
right. Oh my God, I hadn't thought of that. And what are those like black beads that it's all on?
Yes.
Wow.
was it hard to light that? Was that
Was
like,
what?
the beads look like it would have been hard to light without a lot of glare?
Yeah, I mean, just getting the beads, the texture on the beads,
Mhm.
right? Ooh.
Not easy.
How many shots did you have to take to get that exposure?
We don't talk about
Go
that.
ahead. I will be honest, that astro photo that I showed, I think I took like 10 shots before I finally got that. So, yeah. You don't have to be ashamed. That's not as easy as it looks.
That was fun.
That's very, very nice.
Very hard.
Yeah, I could see that. I could actually see that as a Halloween card.
It is.
yeah.
That's my
Oh, yeah.
Halloween card. I put out.
I mean, I'm speaking a Halloween card that like Hallmark would sell.
Oh, mine just go out through email.
Yeah.
That was neat.
It's always fun to get an email from her with a picture.
Let's see,
That
I
looks
know
like
where that is.
nails.
That's a shipwreck.
This is Linda's, I think, isn't it?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, that's a shipwreck
Yep.
by Rogers City.
Oh wow.
It's actually on its side, that's the side of the ship. And some of it's wood, but most of the wood is obviously wearing away.
Yep. Yeah.
But the
Yeah,
posts, the metal posts are still there. I just thought it was cool.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's something you don't see every day.
Yeah.
I thought
And
it was
it's
snow
very-
at first.
There's a few places on the Great Lakes that
Right.
you'll see that,
Huh.
but you usually have to hike back somewhere.
Yeah.
Definitely leads you through the photo. curve.
Yeah, when the stupid shipwreck company canceled and didn't take us
Oh,
out on the
yes.
cruise.
Okay, that was in the morning of, Aviation Day, when he was coming in.
Yeah, that is neat.
You see the propellers in the top, they got a little bit of blur in them.
Mhm.
I don't know what the shutter speed was on that, but it's probably around 1/100th because with, copters, a lot slower than an airplane.
Yeah.
So it's hard, and I didn't care about the tail, I just wanted that because I wanted you to see the people.
Yeah.
I found it really hard to shoot that day. It was like so bright, like I couldn't
Yeah.
get the shutter speed, cause it was like too bright out.
It was not easy.
Did you have like an ND filter on that or something, or?
No, I do a little post on it, but maybe to brighten it up because it was really dull and gray in the morning when these guys came in. That was, I don't know, what time did I get there? 9 o'clock?
Those trees really make it too.
But when that guy when they went for rides, he would come in and then he's on his angle. I mean, those people were having a blast.
Well, I have a shot that I took because I went on that helicopter ride, and I got a shot. I was sitting right behind the pilot on the right-hand side.
Okay.
Because on the Huey, the pilot is sitting on the right side of the aircraft. And so I'm looking down to the left side of the aircraft, and I'm looking down, past the people at the buildings on the ground. And the other thing they were doing, I will confess, I forgot, oh God, I hate heights. and one of the things that really spooked me the worst is we'd be flying like this, and all of a sudden she'd go like this. I'm like, ugh.
No,
Oh,
No.
I do dizzy.
I got a chopper ride there when Bailey's Excavation had their 50th thing. They paid for a bunch of us to.
I didn't see you, did I?
No, not there, but this was just recently.
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
Oh, I was there.
Oh, huh. I didn't see too many people
Yeah.
with that one.
Yeah, but we got to ride on that, and the only time I got kinda iffy is when he's climbing like this and all of a sudden it feels like it's gonna stall.
Yeah. Yeah.
I almost went for a ride, but I was a little
I
off
mean,
my balance.
this
that day,
didn't
so-
bother me when I was banking and doing all this stuff.
It took me a while to get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was quite the ride.
Yep. I called it my military strength roller coaster ride.
That's cool.
Nice.
I like that.
That
Nice.
is very hard to get. I tried that years and years ago and I couldn't get anything like
Yeah,
that.
you just gotta sit there and shoot and shoot and shoot.
Yep. Yeah, I've got a camera now, that might do it, but.
Are they back doing that again?
Yeah,
Nice.
that was from 2 years ago, but, or the first one.
Did a good job of keeping the
Yep.
smoke from blowing out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
And I also like you got the little smoke streamers still going off to the right.
Yeah.
That's something I don't think I've ever seen in a photo
But
I
before.
have-
you also
So,
got the smoke going up to the touch hole there too.
yeah,
I
you
kinda
caught the
had
magic moment.
Mask the smoke and like use contrast and all that to get,
Good
You did
job.
it good. You did it good.
I had to do that with the guys too, cause they weren't seeing it out enough.
Kudos, that's a good shot.
Very well done.
Yeah, I've never seen enough
Yeah.
streamers like that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's it.
I do
Is
believe
that
that's
it?
all.
Wow, okay, what time is it? Oh, it's
Alright.
8:36, so it's almost 9.